Well, hello everybody. It seems like the room is even filled out since we started. That's fantastic. Well, as you can see, my name is Boriana Alexandrova, or Bobby. That's probably more, easier to remember. I'm a fourth-year PhD student at the English department, and I'm about a month away from submitting my thesis. So, fingers crossed. Oh, sorry. Fingers crossed for me. So Emily has exhaustively, I think, covered all of the excitement, the opportunities that a PhD program at the English Department at York can offer you. I'm here to tell you a little bit about the potential value of any non-academic experience that you might have in your academic career. And the reason why I thought it would be good to say something about this, partly because, unlike Emily and a few of our other speakers, I did not do my undergrad or my MA here. I only came to York to do my PhD, and I came here from another country, and as you can probably gather from my accent, I'm not from the UK, I'm originally from Bulgaria. And I've had quite a few gap years in between all of my degree programs. So I had one gap year between my BA and MA when I worked as a translator and as a writer and as an English teacher and all sorts of other things. And again, this was my way of trying to get funding basically for my MA. And then between the MA and the PhD, I had 3 gap years when, again, I did all sorts of stuff. Mostly worked as a non-academic administrator, but I also was involved in a lot of political activism and in journalism and, a lot of different things. And so when I started the PhD, I came here with, all the enthusiasm and passion for my research, which has always been there and is still obviously with me. But I was really worried in my first year that I wasn't academically minded enough to do a PhD and to have an academic career, precisely because of all of my non-academic experience. I thought it might potentially be an impediment, a distraction, possibly irrelevant, and I was terrified of that. So now that I'm at the end of my PhD program, which has had its ups and downs, it's been challenging, but it's been overall it's been fantastic. And I've reached the goals that I had set for myself. I can say that all of the experience that I brought to this program has been wonderful. It's been an incredible asset, hardly an impediment. So I wanted to say just a few things about that to you and maybe bring out a few different areas of non-academic experience that you probably already have and that you can bring into your MA degree or into your PhD and make the best use of it possible. By the way, how many of you are, I didn't see all the raised hands at the beginning, how many of you are starting an MA program in the Okay, in the PhD program? A couple of people? Okay, awesome. Anybody working on James Joyce? Okay, that's my area of expertise. Never mind. All right, so one of the many things that I did in my gap years, and I'm sure that many of you have different types of working experience in customer service, which can mean a lot of different things, obviously. I don't know whether you work for the library, which I think some of you do, right? Whether you've worked pubs or basically worked as a mind to the till at Tesco, whatever. Customer service is surprisingly useful in your academic career. And some of the applications of customer service skills that I've noted down, but this is obviously not exhaustive, at some point in your academic career, especially if you're actually, are any of you planning to actually stay in academia kind of as a long-term goal? Anybody? Yeah? Okay, cool, awesome. Well, either way, at some point in your academic experience, you will want to be involved in things like conferences. In customer service, right, the skills that we really need is, talking to people, right? We need to know how to talk to people. We need to know, we get to learn how to, make an environment accessible, welcoming, warm, comfortable for people, how to be helpful, how to appear helpful, even if you cannot actually help. These are invaluable skills at conferences, at academic networking events, at events like this one even, and again, as everybody before me mentioned, there are so many different types of events and public engagement that you get to do at this department, and at the HRC in particular, the choices are endless. So if you've got customer service experience, bring it along to your academic program. It's really going to come in handy. The other thing which I feel really passionate about is volunteering. Volunteering can mean a lot of different things, but basically, if you've ever done anything for other people and not expected a paycheck, that's a volunteer project. Volunteering is particularly relevant, in my opinion, to, I don't know how aware you are of the current the new trends on the academic job market, but the current research environment is places a pretty high value on the public impact, on the kind of the potential of our research to engage a non-academic audience. And I found that volunteering is actually any volunteering experience you might have, whether you've organized reading groups or knitting circles, or volunteered for a local charity maybe at some point, or put on a gig, or played a gig yourself, whatever. All of these things, all of these activities are give you insight into the needs of your community, into what really matters, the social, the educational, the political, the personal needs of your community. And as such, any knowledge that you can gather from your volunteering experience, whether past, present, or future, will be very important for your research. Because at the end of the day, we volunteer because we really care about something, and we commit to an MA or a PhD program because we profoundly care about what we do, because we love our research. So it only makes sense to bring these two areas of enthusiasm and passion together, and connect them somehow, and allow our research to actually, open out into the world and make a difference, because it really can. And it's usually a pretty straightforward connection if you just let it be. Okay, I'm not going to say too much about this, but I don't remember now if I mentioned, but I was an administrator for a while, a non-academic administrator for a while, and even though you don't need administrative skills when you start an academic program, if you do have them, they're really, really handy. All of the self-organizational skills that I learned as a non-academic administrator have really come in handy for, my teaching, for my currently I'm putting together some proposals for public engagement research projects, putting together funding bids. All of the organizational skills that you gather from any administrative experience that you may have had outside of academia will be so, so useful in this area of kind of academic life. I'm pretty much in every. And also, actually, I'm applying for academic jobs at the moment, and one of my academic advisors pointed out to me that I didn't think that I should say anything on my cover letters about administrative skills, but apparently academic employers really do care if you know how to use PowerPoint and Excel, and that you can actually organize your work. So use that experience, use those skills if you have them, and if you don't have them, don't worry about it, because the academic program will develop them for you, don't worry. And again, this, I guess, I put down art, music, fun, just to say anything you care about in the world, anything that excites you, whether you love going to art galleries, whether you love going to gigs, whether you love to travel, whatever you do, it is relevant to your research. Once again, because if we spend time doing something, we probably care about it. So bring together everything you care about and let your research influence your life in a positive way, and let all the things you care about in life outside of your research also touch your research in a way to make it more meaningful and accessible and open. Okay, and I'm not going to go on for too much longer, but I just couldn't leave without saying something about the value of self-care in academic life. So you will be hearing a whole lot more, and you've heard a lot today about, the exciting opportunities, academic and research opportunities at this department. And there's so much more that we couldn't possibly fit into, presentations of 10, 15 minutes. But at the end of the day, I wish somebody had said to me at the beginning of my program not to worry if I needed to take time for self-care. Mostly because self-care, even though it might seem like something of secondary importance when you're passionate and deeply committed to your academic goals, without taking care of your mind, of your emotional well-being, of your body, of the food that you eat every day, because it's very easy to let that slip and not eat well and not exercise and not get off your computer because you just have too much to do. That is all good and well, but without self-care, our creative muscles really do end up getting exhausted. So I just want to encourage you, no matter what you do, take the time for structured self-care to foster your creative power and to resist the inner critic that keeps saying that that we're not doing enough work, that we're not working hard enough, we're not as good as we want to be. That is only a sign. If you ever feel that way, it's only a sign that maybe you need a break and you need to take a step back. So I want to encourage you, when you start your program, whatever you do, make sure that you structure at least one non-academic activity into your weekly routine, whether that is swimming or knitting or yoga, or, which by the way I started in my 3rd year, it is awesome. Just do what you love, let your academic life and your non-academic life work together and in a balanced way, especially if you're actually planning a career in academia. Those of you who are, a career in academia is challenging and it is exciting and it is inspiring, but we have to find a way to make this actually work in the long run for us, which means that we have to be able to thrive intellectually, emotionally, physically, personally, in every way. So yeah, that's about it. I'd love to answer any questions if you want to, come find me afterwards. If you have any specific questions about the PhD program, or if you're working in modern studies. So my area of research is in 20th, 21st century literature. So if you're interested in any of that, please feel free to talk to me or any of this. And wish you the very, very best of luck. I hope those of you who have not accepted an offer yet, I hope that you choose York. It really is a fantastic place to work and to study. The very best of luck in Wonderland. Thank you.